guys. So I wanted to do kind of an extender video, like an extension on the first video I uploaded on our YouTube channel, to kind of go into a little bit more depth, because I feel like that first video is actually the first one I've ever uploaded to YouTube before, and the first video I've ever recorded like this. So it was somewhat, let's say, politely framed. But over the last sort of week, I've kind of been thinking that I wanted to make a slightly more real video, kind of delving into kind of my life and the reasons I want to do this like a little bit more. And I kind of realised that one of the main kind of values of what I want for this channel is like truth, and authenticity. So I kind of thought it'd be a good idea to sit down and kind of just explain a bit further, and yeah, just be a little bit more like real and personal about why I want to do this. The idea has slightly evolved a little bit as well. I think it's going to be one of those things that kind of evolves on its own anyway. Oh, and it's just started thundering again. Hopefully my electric won't cut out like it did earlier for about 2 hours. But yeah, anyway, so initially my idea for this was to, do side quests, right? Do fun projects, tasks, goals, challenges, things that just whatever I kind of fancied that would come up, which is something I've always kind of done, but with the idea of like documenting the process. But for me, it's kind of evolved now into, well, the truth is I want to completely change my life. Kind of reached a point where I just don't want to live like this any longer. My life isn't bad, like not at all. Like I've got lots of good things in my life, but yeah, I just kind of realised that I have reached a place where I've outgrown who I am, and I no longer want to keep living in a way that is just survival, or just kind of going along with the flow, of how things are, and kind of what I see is almost like the regular life trap that everyone kind of finds themselves in at some point. But to talk about that and why this project is important to me, I want to delve a little bit into my backstory. So if anyone knows it, you'll know how bad this place is, but I grew up on the Aylesbury estate in London, which I believe earned itself the nickname Hell's Waiting Room, I believe. So it's a big housing estate in southeast London, and I mean, being born, well, I was born somewhere else, but I grew up from very young there, and it's not the sort of place that you would think you would be born and that your life would particularly go anywhere. It doesn't look like your prospects are high coming from a place like that. But over the years, we obviously managed to kind of get away from living there, and we moved to Kent, and I managed eventually through a whole sort of winding path to become a tattoo artist, which earned me money that I never ever thought was even possible. That wasn't the sort of income that I would have ever expected for my life. But I've always been someone who I just want more. Like I'm not very good at settling into a life that feels lacking in any way, I suppose is a good way to put it. So over the course of my life, I'm 36 years old now. Over the course of my life, I've kind of had bouts of like pushing forwards and doing something more and sort of changing how my life was going to pan out. But I've reached a point where, despite finding a better job and doing all those kinds of things, I just don't want to live worrying about money ever again. And it's not just about money, but obviously everything's very expensive at the moment. Life has changed quite drastically. The kind of hopes of buying houses and doing more luxury things has like really changed for people. But yeah, I've just reached this stage where I'm like, I refuse to live like that. Now, just the most basic kind of decision I've made, and I've wanted this to be the case for a long time, but I've kind of decided now that it's just what I want for my life, is I want to be insanely wealthy. Generational wealth, let's put it. And it's not it's not to show off, it's not to prove something, it's not to be better than other people or be like, look at all this materialistic stuff I've got. I want complete and total freedom to live my dream life. And I kind of thought this the other day because we went camping for a night, just to get away. And the campsite we went to, really cute little campsite, really basic, like kind of rustic. It had like compost toilets. There was no one there. There was 2 other vans, but it was like big enough that it felt like we were the only ones there. And it was so quiet, really, really quiet. And just sitting in front of like a crackling fire in the middle of nowhere, with it really, really silent and the birds tweeting, and just fire in front of us and the starry sky just made me think, even with lots and lots of money, I would do this. But I would do this with a sense of ease that financial freedom would bring with it. But then I kind of realised, and this is just how I want to be able to live, is it's not about not having materialistic things either. I just want choice. Like, if there is a nice car I like, I want to be able to buy that car. I just want that car, not to show it off to anyone. I just want to be able to, in this life I have that experience. If I want to go and sit in a quiet campsite with compost toilets and cheap snacks, I want to do that. So yeah, it's not about materialism. It's just total freedom to live a completely creative and spontaneous and adventurous life. And so I have no idea how I'm going to get there. I have some small ideas flickering around, and some later plans, all of which are things I'm going to be documenting. But I'm just going to trust the process and decide that that's exactly what I'm going to do. yeah, it's more like, so I suppose this video is part, um, do you want to watch someone say that that's what they're going to do and see the process unfold? And part like declaration to myself of, I have outgrown pretending that it's okay to keep living a life of just getting by. I'm not doing it anymore. I know what I want. I know how I want it to look, and I will do whatever it takes to get there. Um, some of it's going to look like side quests. Some of it might unfold into challenges. Some of it might be learning skills. Some of it might be random opportunities that have come up, and I'm just going to document everything. So it's going to be similar to what I already explained, but there's a level deeper than I was able to convey last time. So yeah, that's just a little bit more of a kind of openness and insight into how I'm feeling with where I want to go with this. And whether you're watching this now and I'm right at the beginning and you're thinking, okay, let's see what happens. Maybe you don't believe me. Maybe you think, I don't know. Maybe you're curious. Maybe you're similar to me and you think, yeah, it is just a case of you've just got to decide something you're going to do, and that's it. It's set in stone in here, and it's just like a kind of faith to the process. Or maybe you're watching this in a year's time, and you're like coming back to see what the beginning looked like. But yeah, welcome if you want to watch. That's really cool. I'd love for you to comment and tell me if you want to do the same. You're welcome to join me. You're welcome to take this and go, do you know what? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna do that too. But yeah, that's basically everything. I've slightly changed some of the challenges I was planning on doing because of the way this has evolved. Some of my initial first challenges were going to be simple things, just like a certain type of meal I wanted to cook, and what was the other one? There was a fitness challenge. I'm probably still going to be doing that one actually, but the first thing I think will be uploaded next is going to be, I've kind of decided with this now, I just need to make a blank slate, so I'm going to essentially sell almost everything I own, and just start from scratch really, because a lot of you can probably relate to this. I have clothes, items, tools, things that are kind of just sitting around waiting for me to start projects, or things that I never wear, because the truth is right now I'm not going out for meals. I'm not really going anywhere to wear anything nice. My actual current situation is I am living back at my parents' house, as probably lots of people can relate now. In fact, my brother's here too, who's helping me, who's doing this channel with me, because it's cheaper and rent is really expensive. And yeah, I'm just like, I've got my animals here. It's obviously quite chaotic. So anything nice I own, I'm not using it because I'm not going anywhere, because I'm skint a lot of the time, and I almost feel like I need to. Part of me's kept hold of those things because I'm like, well, when I'm rich, when everything takes off, when I achieve the things I want to achieve, then I will use them. But I kind of realised that in this current moment, I am in a phase, and it's going to sound cliche, but I'm in a phase of like shedding a skin, right, where it's like the what's been is done. And I almost look at the things I own and I have this kind of guilt of never using half of them, and imagining myself eventually using these things, when in reality it almost feels like I need to wipe the slate clean, and once I get there, then see who I am and then go from there. So yeah, that's going to be the first thing. I've been filming lots of it, pulling everything out that I own and going through it all. I'm going to be donating some. I might do a boot sale on Sunday, selling some bits and starting from scratch, a complete life do-over, with the absolute conviction that everything is going to change. So yeah, if you want to join me on that, if you want to follow curiosity or inspiration, I'd love for you to stick along for the journey and see what happens. So yeah, thanks guys, thanks for watching, catch you later.